Reality. Reality receipts.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley, and we're back with our extra super special tiny little spoiler tea video we told you guys we would have coming. So, first, we're going to talk about a couple things that have been on social media. So, the spoilers aren't quite yet. We will give a big warning before if you want to dip out before we get into that. So, a couple of things that have happened just in the last day. Casey's ex came forward, made some videos. You want to tell the people about that?
Yes, so Casey's ex, the infamous ex that we see her bring up on Love is Blind, that said, I guess what she said about him is he encouraged her to go on these dating shows, and it kind of sounded like a weird situationship, like she was trying to get his approval. It sounded very bizarre, and it threw Patrick off, and she reeled him back in by talking about her little vagina. And so the
The
ex,
landing
of
strip.
course, because even on the show, she implied that he's a TikToker or whatever. She saw him on TikTok, and that's how they met. He has revealed himself, which I figured was going to happen because he's just trying to get in on the clout. So his
Yeah.
name is Austin Friesen, at Austin Friesen 98 on TikTok if anybody's interested. He's a very clean, I don't know how you would describe him, clean cut, Justin
Mhm.
Bieber vibes. So his first video is this is his first video where he basically just says clearing the air with the rumors, and then the caption says, "Did not think I'd have to be making this video. Hashtag Love is Blind." You actually didn't have to make this video. If you didn't make this video, nobody would have actually figured out that it was you.
Mhm.
So that's so funny when they always do this. But in this video, he doesn't answer anything. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to clear up the rumors." And then he says, a car drives by, and he's like, "So I hope that clears it up." So he didn't say anything. And then today, just 2 hours ago, he actually posted another video saying he's going to clear up the rumors. He basically says him and Miss
Casey.
Casey were a situationship, that they were never
Yeah.
in an actual relationship, and he encouraged her to go on the show as a friend because they were a situationship. She really wanted to find somebody. He really wanted her to find somebody. And, he did make a comment that it could change your life because a lot of it does change people's life. And he says it's changing Casey's life in a very negative way. And that he encourages all of the viewers to stop sending her hate and stop sending her family hate, which we also encourage you guys to stop sending hate, stop sending her family hate. Talk to us about it. Talk to
Yeah.
us in our comments. You do not need to go to these people's pages. So he does confirm in this video that he is the ex that everybody is talking about. So
Yeah, he lives in Minneapolis and she lives in Denver, so that's why they were a situationship, I guess, is kinda what he said. He said he hasn't seen her in over a year and they were not anything serious. So that's why he encouraged her because she wanted to find someone and he was not that someone. So I think she should have maybe not been referring to him. I don't even know why she brought him up, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
that wasn't
he
very
says in this
wise.
video that he didn't know that she was going to bring him up. So
Mhm. So he is part of he's Canadian actually, and he's part of the hockey guys on TikTok, which actually have 1.5 million followers. So I
Mhm.
guess that's what she was referring to when she said he's a TikToker. Because his personal account is like micro, like you said. He has
Mhm.
followers, but he's not like when she said TikToker, I'm sure a lot of people had a few names in mind as like who it could be. So he's one of these hockey guys, and
Okay.
he used to play hockey, I guess. So as a
Oh, okay.
Canadian, I'm like, yay hockey, but he seems
He seems douchey.
fine.
I mean, he seems
Yeah.
douchey. When you look at his Instagram or whatever, I'm just like, oh, douche, whatever.
Yeah.
But like you could tell very,
Casey's type.
very, yeah, when she says she has a type, he's a very, clean cut, pretty, white boy, strong jawline, this is everybody
Mm.
type. Hell, shit, I don't know,
Yeah.
like my type, this is my type too. Shit, what's
Yeah.
up? Austin? I'm just like, just very, he lives like a douche, like
Yeah, just a guy.
hockey,
Just a
hockey,
man.
you call jock,
Hockey bro.
whatever, hockey bro, hockey jock, like, you know what I mean? She likes a clean cut pretty boy, which
Yeah.
again, you know, to each his.
So Yeah, and then Patrick has been posting some cringy videos. One that he deleted, we mentioned in our last recap, but Ricky made a video on it. There, somebody screen grabbed it, so he was doing that like you do it
Trend.
better than me. Yeah,
Yeah, he that trend.
that
He was
one.
doing that trend, and the caption said, "When she finds out that she's the side chick." Now, I do
Uh-huh.
think that and the comments were not on his side, so he deleted it, but I do think
Mhm.
he's just trying to embarrass her, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
so embarrassed, he's just trying to get his lick back, so let him get his little bit lick back, and then he posted another one yesterday over the I think it's a Drake sound where he's like, "You just
Mail
like,
me my ring back,
yeah,
it
just give me
says.
my ring back," right? And that one, he's actually getting a lot of love in the comments. People are like, "Oh my god, Patrick is so hot. Is this the same Patrick?" You know what I mean? He does look like he's, maybe lost a lot of weight since filming, as has Casey. Casey looks very different than she did during filming, and so in
Mhm.
these TikToks, Patrick does look thinner, you know? So, he's getting a lot of love. Like, he's like everybody's telling him how hot he looks in that video. And my thing is stop while you're ahead because this is a very slippery slope, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, if you start
Well,
making too many videos, people are going to turn on you. You know, so you got to know when to stop. Like Andrea, right? Like everybody felt bad for Andrea when she first left Love Island and got dumped, but then it's like she made one too many videos and the world turned on her. So Patrick, it's a slippery slope. You know,
well, and especially because the ring is not his. Like Netflix paid for the ring is what this is what Netflix has said. But I think they do have the option if they want to go out and buy their own, but I have never heard of anyone actually doing that. Patrick hasn't come out and said, I turned down the free $5,000 ring and went out and bought my own.
yeah,
So, as far as we know, that was Netflix's ring. So, who the ring belongs to is up to them to determine. Obviously, Patrick thinks that he should get it, and Casey wants to keep or kept it. But to
yeah.
make a video saying "send me my ring back," obviously, it's just to be funny, getting in on his moment. But you're right. If he keeps making these, people will eventually turn on him. But they are loving it in the comments.
Yeah,
So
they're loving it. They're loving that one. They were not loving that other one. They were not loving that other one. They was not on his side, but
yeah. Sorry, someone in the comments was like $90,000 ring. You should get that back. Those rings are not $90,000. They're They have a cap at 5 is what production has said before, which is still a good chunk, good
yeah,
little ring, so
yeah. And I mean, if you want to pay to upgrade it, that's great. I think we did see Zach do that with Bliss, but that's because he gave the first one
yes.
to Irina.
Yeah, when you give out the free one, then you gotta make
So
a
you gotta
replacement
go
ring.
get one on your own. So
And I kind of feel like if you were going to get a new ring, that might be something you do once you get married, right? Like I wouldn't be when you haven't even met this person yet to be splashing out on a big expensive ring, maybe not the wisest choice. Just use the free one till you actually get married. Then of course, like if you're married, then you want to get your wife what she wants. But
yeah,
it doesn't make a lot of sense. When these people are barely surviving past the pod opening, it's like probably not we haven't seen any men with that kind of cash on the show that are going to buy all these expensive things for their partner, or they're just not showing us that. But
we've seen
anyways.
Jakob do it on.
Oh,
He was
yes, yes.
buying a bunch of expensive things, but he was buying her stuff. You could tell because she mentioned it. And according to Mike, he picked out a ring for Megan, and he would have got her an emerald one.
Right. That's easy to say in hindsight, but
Right. Shut
who
up.
knows if you would have.
Good show.
Any other social media stuff before we get into spoilers?
No, I think that was it.
All right. Well, that's your warning. The next portion will be spoilers. Now, we do not have a marriage spoiler. We don't know who or if anyone gets married. We feel like nobody does.
Yes.
The only people we think may get married is Megan and Jordan. So, spoilers ahead. Don't listen. But
Yeah.
there's no hope. I don't think that the other ones got married. We know for a fact that some of them didn't. So that's spoiler. We have spoilers of who did not get married,
Yeah.
basically.
Wait, Ashley, is that your Fits Everybody triangle bralette from Skims?
It is. You know how I'm always raving about Skims to you. It is one of my favorite brands. I love their bodysuits. I love their pajamas. But I finally tried out the Fits Everybody collection, the bras and the underwear, literally like butter against my skin. I can't even tell that I'm wearing them. And I have not been able to take them off since I got them. Absolutely amazing.
Girl.
I love
Ashley,
it.
like, raves about Skims, and I think I'm, like, the last person on the planet Earth that's actually tried Skims, so I was like, "You know what? Let me see what all the fuss is about. Let me see what all the hype is about." I tried the Fits Everybody thong. Butter.
Okay.
Feels like I'm going commando. Like, so soft. And then I tried the Fits Everybody triangle bralette as well. I got, like,
So good.
3 of them. They're all in the laundry because I wear them all the time. I need more. I need to, like, add some to my cart because I don't want to take them off. They are so comfortable. They're unlike anything I've ever felt before. I know I've heard people say that in the past, but you don't believe it until you try it for yourself. 10 out of 10. You influenced me.
Yay. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling just as comfortable as me. They really are not like any other bra or underwear I have tried before. They blow everything else out of the water. We want you guys to try it for yourself. So, to grab yourself some of the Fits Everybody collection, shop Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show, Reality Receipts, in the drop down menu that follows so that everybody knows you got this great advice from us and you will not regret it. You'll be thanking us, we promise you.
And so will your booty. Yes.
So, first up, we got Madison and Joe, which will become as a shock to nobody, but they do not even get to the altar. They split up at the tux fitting. He allegedly leaves at that and that's it. So, it's over before they even get to the altar. Are you
Yeah.
surprised?
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
No. I think everyone could see from a mile away that they weren't gonna get married, and I think that people confuse our take on Madison as saying, like, Joe is, like, amazing, and it's like, let's be clear, Joe is full of shit. Joe is not ready for marriage. Oh, I had one such social media thing. Joe's ex, I guess, or I don't wanna say ex, but a girl that Joe dated, she
Mhm,
says she went on 5 dates with him, a year and a half to 2 years ago, which would have been around the time of filming or right before filming or during casting at the very least, and he told her he broke things off with her because he said that he wasn't ready for a relationship, so she finds it
mhm,
comical that he is now on a show where he is engaged.
mhm.
Again, I don't think that Joe was ever in a space to be serious about marriage. I think somebody that's serious about marriage wouldn't be getting shit faced every time he's with his friends, so that's a surprise to no one. But
Mhm.
you have another spoiler about Mr. Joe.
Yes. Well, I mean, as much as we feel like he's not ready for seriousness and we think he's the problem, he is in a serious relationship now. He's been in it for over a year. So
Uh-huh.
maybe it was just the wrong person. Madison wasn't his person because now he's in a serious relationship. Obviously, we haven't heard from this person. I don't know if he'll be talking about that at the reunion or if we'll be like meeting her or what's going to happen because I don't know if this has happened before, but we've had an engaged couple break up and then at the reunion they're in a long-term relationship, like a year. Have we seen that before?
I don't
Usually
know.
they come
We've
single.
seen, like, Taylor. Yeah, we've seen a few. Like, we've seen the girl that was with Captain America. Was her name Taylor? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
The reunion, she was in a serious relationship. We've seen it
Right.
a few times, but Joe is yeah, he's in a serious relationship, and Madison follows the girl, so, um
That's the surprising part because obviously if you've heard Madison's interviews, she's going all in on Joe and not doing him any favors, which I mean, if he like this is obviously alleged. We haven't watched the show. This is just what we're told. They can always edit or change things, but we are told this is how it went down. So alleged, grain of salt, but we're fairly certain this is what we will be seeing. If he did in fact ditch her and not even go to the altar, we understand her being a little salty with him, and that's why her interviews are coming across that way. I think that's why no one's surprised they didn't go to the altar because the way she's speaking about him now. But to be following his current girlfriend, I think they're in a mutual friend group, and that's why. But it is a little strange. If I were his girlfriend, I would probably like remove that follower. I don't know. That would
I
be
would
weird.
feel like you're out here literally trashing my man, saying that he, you know, gave you an ED. Like, I would unfollow. I would be like, we're not, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like a cordial type of
Mhm.
situation, even if they're in a mutual friend group. Like,
Yeah, it seems a little awkward. So I don't know what maybe because the reunion hasn't filmed yet. I think we are getting one. They haven't announced it, but I saw they announced like a special cast event on October 29th. I'm assuming that will be the reunion, so no word if it's like live or filmed, but they haven't done it yet. They usually do it around this time, so should be any day now. So maybe there's tea that Madison has, or she's got something to say to the girlfriend. I don't know. But as far as we know at this moment, Joe and his girlfriend are cool. Madison follows her. So
Yeah.
feels weird to me, but
And that
she also
Madison
follows Joe. So
oh, she does follow Joe,
I
Madison?
think so.
Well, I
So
think
maybe,
they probably have to until
yeah.
wedding episodes air, but Madison follows the girlfriend, but we are told that the girlfriend and her are not necessarily friends, but they do have mutual friends, which is Kate, who was also on the
From the
show.
cast.
Yeah, and we see on the episodes that Kate and Madison are very close, so
Yes. So that's probably how that happened. Obviously, the girlfriend is his type that he described, very petite woman.
Mhm.
So maybe he's
Also
on better
brunette.
behavior.
Also
Yeah.
brunette, right? So, and again, there's so many different ways to describe your type besides mentioning someone's body, which I'm pretty sure
hmm
Joe learned a very valuable lesson. You could have said brunette
Yeah.
or short or, anything else, tan, not tan. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just no mentioning women's bodies. I feel like this has probably been a good learning lesson for Joe. I don't obviously he didn't see it before he got in this relationship, so no word on if that's the behavior he still exhibits, but I wouldn't think you could last in a year relationship acting what we've seen on the screen. Like if he's still getting blackout drunk all the time, but maybe
Yeah,
it
and
was just a weird time. I
you
don't know.
act different when you like somebody, right? And
Mhm.
I think somebody made a good comment. They were like, "I think he's attracted to her. I don't think he likes her." And I agree with that, right?
Mhm.
I think he finds her attractive, you know,
Yeah.
even though she's not his typical type because she is still a beautiful girl, but I don't
Mhm.
think he likes her. And men treat women accordingly based on if they like her. And not
Yeah.
liking her doesn't have to be linked to the level of attraction. Not liking her can be like, I don't like her personality. I don't like how we communicate. I don't like, you know what I mean? Because do you notice that Joe really, like, sometimes his face and what his words are not really matching. Like, he's like, I really do. I really want to make, and it's like,
Yeah.
he can't look at her. He's like looking over here. He's looking up here. Like, and it's like, you don't know if it's nerves or just because you're full of shit. And I'm chalking it up to like, you're full of shit, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely think at first, like, Madison wasn't his type, but then he was very physically attracted to her. So right now, it feels like they only have a physical connection. I don't think he enjoys her personality and vice versa. They don't have good communication. For some reason, they are having this very passionate connection, and that's all that's keeping them together right now. But I
Yeah.
think as they keep going forward and like the tux fitting and the dress, he's like that. I don't want to marry this person. And
Yeah.
she should probably be feeling the same way from what she has seen, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure looking back now, she's like, that was the right call. I'm glad he left. But in the moment, she seems so not desperate, but like so focused on getting to the altar that you're not really sitting there thinking, do I even like this person?
But I think she's focused on getting to the altar so that she could say no. There's no way you wanna
Yeah.
get to the altar to say yes. Like, there's no way. You wanna
Mhm.
get to the altar so you can say no. She's doing the same
Yeah.
thing Zenab did. She's doing the same thing that we just lit Kim's ass up for from Love Is Blind France. She's doing the same thing. Like,
Yeah. They want the
I
moment.
don't wanna marry him, but I do want the moment of, like, the altar and the dress and all of that, but, like, I'm gonna say no. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, we would hope she would say no from what we've seen. They are just not a good match. So, another couple not a good match that does not get to the altar is Nick and Annie. So, no surprise there. I feel like I just looked at her Instagram and she has no trace of Love is Blind on it. Like, she does not want to be associated, which I don't really blame her with some of the stuff she said in the pods. I know she's getting a lot of heat. But yeah, I feel like she wants to forget she was ever a part of this experiment. And given who her partner was and what she's getting heat for, yeah, it was a good call for her. But
Yeah.
as far as we know, he ends it and they don't go to the altar. So
Yeah.
we only get three couples at the altar. That is KB and Edmund. Maybe they get married. I
Hell
don't
no.
have no.
absolutely not. I think like one is just obvious, right? And then
Mhm.
two, just she did it on her podcast with AD. She said that she got the ick, and you could just tell by how that's why I'm so surprised that like the couples that do go to the altar are allowed to say anything because it's so obvious in their language that they didn't get married, you know?
Mhm.
So,
And you think she's gonna say no? Yeah,
yeah.
she'll be the one. Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
I think you're right about that. And then, um, Allie and Anton, we don't know. They go to the altar. We don't know what happens with them, but he has been posting a girl in his social media. I don't know if this was before the show aired, but I got some screenshots. He's got just her fingers are in a lot of the shots, and her nails are not like Allie's nails. Allie has cute nails like you do, and this girl has plain, like, blunt nails. So unless they're trying to totally fuck with us and they are married, but it just
Well,
doesn't look like her fingers.
it doesn't
So,
look like her fingers, and I just think that again, we have a major lifestyle difference,
mhm.
goals and, future planning. I think that Allie will be the one to say no.
And I was told in the pods he had some other strong connections that fell off because of his views on politics and gender roles. So that I feel like we're gonna see come up in the next episodes where he's talking about, like, are you not cleaning on your days where you're working? And I think he really wants he seems not old school, I don't know what the word is, but, he wants to get drunk with his friends, go to strip clubs, have a woman cook and clean. I think that's what Anton's
But
looking
don't wanna
for.
pay the bills. That's the
Yeah.
problem with these men, these modern men, is like you want these gender roles, like you want me first of all, if we're talking about modern gender roles, then bitch, I shouldn't be working at all because my
Yeah.
job is cleaning and my job is taking care of this household. That's what they did back in the day. And men
Mhm.
wanna forget that part of it. So you want me to work as
Mhm.
12 hours a day and then come home and cook and clean and clean up after you? No.
No.
Women back in the day didn't do that.
No.
And men paid for everything. So
Yeah.
if you can't half want the damn gender roles, like, you got to
Yeah.
want the whole thing. Like, let her do her thing then, and she'll clean the house, and and you pay for everything. Pay for her Botox, pay for her clothes, pay for her shoes, pay for the bills, pay for you can't only want half the gender roles, and that's the problem with modern men, is they
Yeah.
want the part where the woman's part, but they don't wanna do their part of what those
Yeah.
traditional gender roles are. Bruh, get the
Yeah.
fuck in here.
No, to work all day and then come home and cook and clean and contribute half to all of the bills, that's just crazy. That's not fair.
That
And I
means
know a
I'm
lot
doing
of men are.
80%.
Yeah. The men that are actually modern and want modern gender roles, then they're cooking and they're cleaning and they're doing the childcare and only paying half. So
They're
you got
doing
split.
both, like, we're both
Yeah.
gonna do both. Either like,
Mhm.
we're both gonna do both, or we're just gonna structure our household in a way that works for us, like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
So I am surprised that Allie even picked him in the pods and maybe these red flags didn't come up, or maybe sometimes I do. I'm not saying she did this, but sometimes I do wonder if, because everyone knows the person that comes out the best on Love is Blind is someone who ends up with like a bad guy, right? And you get to have your moment and say no or whatever. He says no, and that's the best case scenario if you're not going to find the love of your life, right? To at least be like, not the victim, but
right.
in that role. So sometimes I wonder, are they finding a guy that they know is just trash in the pods and getting engaged because they're like, everyone's gonna root for me to dump this guy and I'm gonna get out scot free and not have to like break someone's heart that's like sweet if I don't end up liking them, because you don't really know what's gonna happen when you get out of the pods, right? 'Cause it's
Right.
hard to believe that some of these women pick these men, like get engaged to
Yeah,
them.
and I think right, like, I think that's what we're seeing with Madison is she's anxious to make it to the altar, not to say yes, but to say no,
Mhm.
and to have a
Yeah.
moment where, like, a mic drop and everybody applaud her for dumping this trash ass man, you
Yeah.
know?
Uh-huh. I agree. So I think, it's been a messy season. I think the reunion will be interesting. I think there's a lot to talk about. So
Yeah.
not a love-filled season, maybe no happy stories, but still entertaining to watch, but
Uh,
very silly. I don't know what happens with Megan and Jordan. We don't have any tea on them, unfortunately. So, but they're my
we
best
know they go
guess.
to the altar though, right? They go
Yes.
to the altar. We don't know
Although,
what
you know what?
I
I
haven't
in
seen them
all the
previous.
no,
Mhm.
I was
Either.
just thinking that. In all the clips, I have not seen them at the altar. That is very telling. Maybe they don't even get to the altar.
We'll find out if they go to the altar.
Yeah, that'll be part 2 of our tea because they've
If we
been
get some wedding spoilers, we will obviously share them with you guys if you guys want.
Yeah, that is very weird because they usually try to at least finagle it a little. Like that's what they did with Madison and Joe. I don't know if you noticed because at first I saw her in a wedding dress and I was like, "Oh, they go to the altar." But then you realize that's from the dress fitting, right? And then they do that sometimes. So there is no footage of Madison and Joe at the altar. But now I'm realizing we don't see Megan at the altar either or their family in the
Yeah.
audience. All of it comes from KB and Allie and Anton. So,
Yeah, and you do like in the preview, they try to make it seem like somebody got jilted at the altar. So you see somebody walking away and they're like, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing." So you think
mhm.
that he didn't show up to the wedding, right? Is what
Yes.
they try and make it seem like Joe didn't show up to the wedding, like a Mr. Biggs moment,
Yes.
you know? That would
Yeah,
be
there's
good.
like
We haven't seen that yet.
and I thought that's what we were getting this season
Yeah.
because it literally is like, "Where's Joe?" "Oh, he went in his truck." And I was like, "Oh, he's so just not gonna show up to the altar." And we've never had that. It's gonna be crazy. But no, he ditches the dress fitting, tux fitting. So we've seen that before. Old
Yeah.
news.
we've seen that. Oh,
Just
yes.
kidding.
Jackie didn't show up
But
to
yeah, no, I can't believe
his
I didn't realize until this second that we don't have any wedding footage of ki I wonder I wonder because he didn't want his child on camera, and his child would most likely he seems like the kinda dad that would have to have his child at his wedding,
Oh, 100%.
but they could just not have him on.
If he's getting
Mhm.
married, I don't think he would care if he's gonna say no.
Okay, here's my prediction for Megan and Jordan. I don't have any tea on this, but I kind of feel like they are going to realize they do want to marry each other and they want a real wedding with his child there, not on camera. And they aren't going to do this TV wedding. That's what I'm thinking. Or they're just going to break up. But
That's a
I
good
just,
that's a good prediction.
yeah, because we didn't see them. But maybe that's why they didn't show it. So we're all like, Megan and Jordan, no wedding footage. They're not married. And then they're going to be the happiest only married couple. So they
Yeah,
like to
maybe
mess with
they're the
us.
only ones that I can see, honestly.
Hmm.
They're the only ones that if I said, "Eh, I guess maybe," like, you know, like if she really doesn't care about
Hmm.
finances and he doesn't care, then they're the only ones that I can see, but I do think it is, and if it doesn't bother Megan that Joe, like, he liked that cup, he liked to be in that cup and gets a
Uh-huh.
little loosey off the goosey, hey,
Yeah.
it's not our man, shit.
Well, and I had a prediction before we saw any of the season because Jordan, like I said, his baby mama was in his comments, like very friendly. They're laughing and chatting, and she's like an esthetician, and he's in a video on her page, like she did his eyebrows a couple months ago. So they're obviously very close. So part of me was like, what a cool story it would be if the single dad like goes back to his kid's mom and they get back together because we've never seen that before. But I believe she's has a child and a new relationship, so
Okay.
that's not gonna happen. So normal that they'd be cool if he's in a new relationship, she's in a new relationship. They're friends, good co-parents, so that's amazing, but not messy. So
Yeah, not messy. Yeah,
yeah,
well, that's
so
that's all we got for you guys. If we find
yep,
out anything else, you guys know we will let you know. We're gonna try and find out what does happen between Megan and Jordan and if we have any weddings this season, but we know
yeah.
who doesn't get married, so
Yes, that's the spoilers for now. They're doing a big fan event, I think on Tuesday night before the episode comes out at like 6 o'clock. You can sign on to watch live with everybody. So I kind of feel like they know this is going to be the big thing that everyone's going to be talking about, the big episode, because obviously Joe ditches Madison, and that's what they've been sort of hinting at with the posters, right? Blindsided. That's the big blindside. And then maybe it's going to be smooth sailing after that, and maybe KB and Emma get married and Megan and Jordan, and there's a bunch of happy stories. Who knows?
KB and
You're like, no way.
no way that yeah.
Not
There's
happening.
no way. She's already got the ick. She's already over it. She's talking to him and his mom like they're her patients. Like it's just not. There's no way. Especially as she was
Yeah.
talking about him on an '80s podcast. But
Yeah, so that's the spoilers and the tea, and we'll be back with recaps once the new episodes drop on Wednesday. And we got all of our Bravo stuff out. And that's it right now. Love Island games wrapped up. So it's just mostly focused on Bravo and Love is Blind.
yeah.
So thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye guys.